Welcome to the lecture on tree diagrams. I always think of the phrase "and then" when I hear about tree diagrams, because for me and for you pretty soon, tree diagrams are going to be a way to draw out a series or sequence of events. You're going to do something and then you're going to do something else. So let's take a look at an example here. Here we have a Venn diagram. And we have two categories or two subsets. We have people who are math majors, and then we have first gen students, meaning people who are going to college for the first time in their family. All right, so I could look at whether or not someone is first gen, and then I could look at whether or not someone is a math major, right? So it's kind of like a sequence of events. I'm looking at their generation status, and then I'm looking at their major status. So let's talk about first gen first. First gen people, how many do we have? We've got 45 and 19. And we've seen this time and again through our use of Venn diagrams, cardinality. We know how to determine the size or the cardinality of this set. We take the two regions and we add them together, 45 plus 19, and we've got 64 first gen students. And how many people are not first generation students or first gen students? This is going to be the cardinality of the regions outside the set F, or the cardinality of the set F complement. So that's 40 with 37, giving us 77. Now that I've determined how many people are in the groups for first generation or not first generation, I can go ahead and make a secondary categorization based on whether or not they're a math major. So of the first generation people, of this yellow circle, of the set F, how many of those people are math majors? It's going to be where that circle also intersects with math majors. So that's 45. And how many of those people are not math majors? So that's going to be the part of the first gen set that is outside the math major circle, 19. And so you can go ahead and label your branches 45 and 19. Next, I'm going to do the same thing for not first gen or F complement. I'm going to make a determination on their major status. So looking outside of set F or looking at set F complement, I want to know how many of those people are math majors. So that's going to be outside of F, but inside of M, 40. And then people who are not first gen and not math majors, that's outside of both circles. So that's 37. And there's no rule that said I had to start with first gen or not first gen. I could also start with math. So let's try that. Same Venn diagram. And let's start with whether or not someone's a math major. So how many math majors do we have? We've got 40 plus 45, so 85 math majors. And then for people who are not math majors, that's 19 and 37, giving me 56. And I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to restrict my view to just math majors. And I'm going to ask myself, okay, of those math majors, how many of those people are first gen and how many are not first gen? So restricting your view just to the circle, just to set M, how many of those people are also first gen? That's the intersection. That's the group of people in both circles, 45. And then how many people are not first gen? You're still a math major, so you're still in that M circle, but you're outside of F, so that's 40. Then I'll do the same with being not a math major. I want to look at whether or not they're first gen. So I'm going to restrict my attention to only the regions outside of the math major circle. So if I'm outside the math major, I want to know, okay, who among this group are first gen? That's 19, because that's in the first gen circle. And then who among these non-math majors is also not first gen? And that's 37.